Hi everyone, I'm Alexis Del Cid and welcome to the Proton Therapy Center at the University of Kansas Health System. We are thrilled to take you on this special tour. Joining us on this tour for his first time is a very special guest. I want to thank you for joining us. We have Laurent Duvernay-Tardif.
That's actually pretty good.
Thank you. I've been practicing. Thank you. Merci. You guys, you go by Larry, some of your friends. Some people call him LDT, Chiefs Offensive Lineman. We're going to call you Dr. Tardif.
Sounds good to me.
You're not wearing the lab coat. However, you're a doctor in our eyes always. Thank you so much for being here.
Honestly, thank you so much for having me. This is actually really impressive.
Isn't it amazing? You took a year off from the Chiefs to go back to Canada and help with the COVID crisis there, but now you're back. What's it like to be coming back from being a doctor in a lab coat to being in your Chiefs uniform on the field playing for the Kansas City Chiefs again?
Honestly, I feel like that last year has been a roller coaster for so many people, you know, and for me, I think it was the right thing to do to step off the football field for a year in order to, try to help that movement of thousands of healthcare professionals that went back on the front line to fight COVID. But now it's just so good to be back, and I feel like it's really a privilege, being away from football make me realize how lucky we are to actually play this sport. So yeah, I'm excited to be here and go Chiefs,
We are so excited to have you. So we also have another special guest that we want to show you. Someone who's been waiting around this corner to see you. Follow me. It's one of your favorite buddies. Oh my goodness.
Can we speak French actually?
Of course, please do.
This is actually really impressive. So GP Darsh, he's from McGill, played in the NFL for what, 9 years? 8 years,
yeah,
9 years?
Yeah.
And now he's our team physician in Kansas City. So yeah, that's a good friend of mine.
Dr. JP Darsh is here, Kansas City Chiefs team physician. What's it like for you guys to see each other again? I know you guys have a very special friendship.
I know, it's great. Like Larry's, I call him Laurent. Actually, I should call him. But we have a lot of common friends. And he went to McGill where I went. We even went to the same high school before that. But he's a couple years younger than me, just a few years. That's it. But so we didn't actually interact that much back in the day in school. But we've gotten to know each other pretty well, and it's been fun. Of all the teams he ended up here in Kansas City. So.
Well, you also are a former Kansas City Chiefs player, and you played for the Seahawks. So you guys have a lot of bonds. You've got the French connection, you have the doctor connection, and you're both Kansas City Chiefs forever, right?
There you go.
And JP was really a great mentor for me. When I first got here, there's so many things to think about, like your visa, changing your driver's license, like learning the playbook and so on. And he's been there every step of the way to help me, guide me through this process. So no, I'm really lucky.
Most importantly, did you tell him where to go for barbecue?
Of course. But here's what people don't know though. He comes over to the house and he cooks better than anybody I've ever seen.
Come on.
You would be surprised. He can come in. Oh yeah, I like to tell the story that one time he said, "I'll bring food this time," and I assume, okay, he's gonna just bring a meal, or take out barbecue or something. No. He brought raw ingredients and he made, I think it was like a pork tenderloin, and he made a pie, and all from scratch. So
my parents are bakers, so it does help.
Yeah. Your parents are professional bakers?
Yeah, they actually own 3 bakeries back home in Montreal. So.
Oh my gosh, you're a Renaissance man.
No.
Don't ask him. Get him started on knitting too. He can knit. He can.
Okay, come on.
Really? All right. The things you learn on these tours. Okay, so we actually have another guest that I can't wait to introduce you guys to as we go on this tour. That was the patient waiting area. You can see some guys are working on stuff here. And around the corner here, well, look who we have, Dr. Ronald Chen.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to see you.
Chair of Radiation Oncology at the University of Kansas Cancer Center. Dr. Chen, meet Drs. Tardif and Dr. Darsh.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for having us.
Great.
We were talking earlier, when we met here in the hallway earlier, as you were waiting for your friends, about the importance of family and children and taking care of children who are here. I know it's hard to envision what this will look like once it's complete, but can you tell us the different services and the atmosphere that will be available to kids here?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, proton therapy is a very sophisticated form of technology, but this is a cancer center, and we really designed this proton therapy program with the family and the children in mind. We know proton therapy can benefit many children with cancer as well as adults with cancer. So we have specifically designed an area in our proton center It's a family waiting area, so family can wait with their children while they come for treatment every day, and also a children's play area so they can feel more comfortable while they're here waiting for treatment. We know that going through cancer treatment is very emotionally draining for a lot of families and children and adults, and so having that design in mind really, I think, will make the experience better for them.
I mean, often doctors' offices can feel sterile or scary or this blank walls, so it's so important to have things that make kids feel like they're not in something scary or sterile, right?
Yeah, it's so important. Now, we don't see that today because we still have concrete walls here, but in just a short 6 months, this will look completely different. When the children and adults walk through this hallway every day to get their proton therapy, they will have a completely different experience that's eye-pleasing and also that makes them comfortable with the facility.
You guys, if you'll notice, we did spruce up the place for you. I mean, take a look at this swag right here. You're going to see lots of Chiefs gear as we walk down the hallway. Now, as we walk down this hallway, I want to ask Dr. Chen, who's kind of going to come along with us. We're like the Wizard of Oz. We're all walking together. This feels like a long walk. However, compared to the journey that patients have had to take up until this point, this is really short.
Yeah, there's only 38 proton treatment centers in the whole country, and many states do not have proton therapy at all, and there's none in this Midwest region that we're in. And so in just 6 months, we'll be able to offer this treatment to the patients in this area, so they don't have to go to other states to pursue cancer therapy.
So basically, this walk down the hallway is about as long as they're going to have to travel, instead of hundreds of miles.
Absolutely right.
So I want to also explain how we got to this point. This is the part of the story that we're going to take you all the way back to months ago. This is how we reached this point with all the heavy equipment. 2 massive pieces of technology make proton therapy possible. We have the gantry and the cyclotron, and they work together to provide targeted radiation. But what an incredible journey it has been to get them here. Here's the deal. The gantry and the cyclotron were first loaded onto a huge ship in Belgium. They crossed the ocean, arriving in Kansas City on April 6th. Now, with all the packing material and all the materials to keep this gear safe, it weighed about 155 tons. Once it arrived in the States, it required police escorts and motorcades. And here's why they needed the motorcades. They needed a fueling truck and utility crews to remove and replace every power line as they went along, because this thing was so huge and so heavy. That's what they needed to do every step of the way. It finally arrived, signaling an end to a proton therapy drought here in the Midwest. As Dr. Chen was explaining, instead of traveling hundreds of miles, patients now can go right down the hallway. So, I want to show you guys the control room. It's kind of like Starship Enterprises. Take a look at this. This is where all the smart people hang out. And, oh, the smart people don't have to run away. So here we are. This is the control room. This is where things happen behind the scenes as a patient goes in for proton therapy at the Proton Therapy Center. But I want to show you now the grand finale, right? We're going to follow Cliff this time, because Cliff Irwin is our faithful photographer, and he is going to show us the nucleus, the nerve center, as we like to put it, of the Proton Therapy Center. And waiting here for us is Dr. Ronnie Rotondo. Dr. Ronnie Rotondo is the medical director of the Proton Therapy Center at the University of Kansas Health System. Dr. Rotondo, thank you.
Wow,
Welcome
this
to
is
the
pretty
proton
impressive.
treatment room.
Meet Dr. Tardif,
Yeah, thanks
Dr.
for having us.
Starsh, and Dr. Chen. This is really incredible. We just took the doctors on a journey. This is kind of where you hang out all day now? Just supervising in your hard hat? Your lab coat?
Yeah, no, it's actually incredible to see, and I'm really glad that you're having this opportunity to see it this way. You know, in a few months, as the installation, construction completes, most of this room will look very different, and most of it will be covered, so you'll only see a very small glimpse of it. But I'm glad you get to see the kind of inner workings and the components behind proton therapy here.
It weighs tons and tons. Where does the patient go once this is all finished and ready for the patient?
The cyclotron is actually where the proton beam is generated, so that sits in the back, way in the back there.
Okay.
So it's a superconducting cyclotron that accelerates protons, which are derived from hydrogen, to 2/3 the speed of light. They're then directed with electromagnets through a beam line and then come down here to the nozzle, treatment nozzle. The patient would be lying, there's a couch that gets installed onto this robotic arm. The patient would be lying on that couch. They would be positioned with individualized immobilization devices that position them in a very precise manner. And then that pencil beam, that the very precise radiation comes out of this nozzle right here and is directed into the tumor.
So
And
it's,
treatment is once a week, once every 3 days. Like, how frequently do patients have to
They're
come in?
typically daily treatments, Monday through Friday. I would say the average course is about 6 weeks of treatment, but it could range from 4 weeks to 7 weeks. There are some forms of treatment we do that might be 5 treatments given over a week or over a week and a half as well.
what's it like as doctors to be in here and see this and see the difference this is going to make, particularly, let's say, a child that has cancer or someone who would never have had access to this before? When you look at this,
I think this is pretty special. I mean, this, for my patients, that's another opportunity for them to get treatment, state-of-the-art treatment. It really puts us, the KU health system, as the, with the cream of the crop in the country and in the world. Really, this is world-class care, and that's just another example of. I think our patient will be really well served with this.
and what a way to describe the University of Kansas health system. It's so accurate. The cream of the crop. This is where you have the best of the best, and the Proton Therapy Center really ends the drought of this kind of cancer treatment here in the Midwest. I want to give our celebrity guest, our Kansas City Chiefs player, final thoughts. Come on over here, don't be shy. Why don't you stand next to us? So what do you think when you're here seeing this? Gosh, you're big. You're tall.
Honestly, it's pretty impressive to see like what go behind, this old machinery and everything, with the cyclotron behind. But I think, for me, it's just a matter of like, when you know that your patient is going to get, a better therapy with less side effect because you can have access to that type of machinery, I think it's just unbelievable, and it can really change not only the quality of care, but also the quality of treatment as a whole, because the whole family doesn't have to travel in another state, staying in an hotel room and so on. Like, they can come here and have access to top of the line treatment. So no, this is really amazing.
Can we hang out here all day? Absolutely. I know, they've got things to do, but really, you guys, thank you for joining us on this tour. Thank you for being here. We're so delighted that you wanted to get a tour of this. So this concludes our tour of the University of Kansas Health System Proton Therapy Center. We want to encourage you to tune in on Sunday for the Crucial Catch game when the Chiefs take on the Bills. This is the annual Crucial Catch game, and it's to benefit cancer research, a fantastic cause. Oh, we do have one more thing to say. You ready? Go Chiefs!